Hey there, welcome to day 3, part 2 of playing chess every day until I reach 1500 Elo on chess.com. The first series of games earlier today, I took 3 losses, and my rating is down to 1059 here, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into another game, another 15-minute rapid game, and try to see if I can break that streak for the day, maybe make a little comeback. I was playing first thing in the morning, and I was still pretty tired, which normally I don't do. So I think that might have thrown me off a little bit. So yeah, let's go ahead and get a win here. I'm playing the Karo Khan. Take that back. Develop the bishop out to f5 here. I do just have to be careful and make sure that I'm not blundering. Honestly, that's just going to be my main focus again, especially after some rough games. Just try not to blunder. I feel like still at this rating, every game has blunders. It's like if you just catch the blunders of your opponent and blunder check and don't blunder yourself, like you're gonna win consistently. I don't know what rating that will start to change. Probably like 1200, 1300. I'm gonna take my time and think through all the moves pretty carefully here. Bring the dark square bishop out. Just get that developed. I think I can just bring this knight in to defend both the knight and the bishop without having to double up my pawns there. And I'll be able to castle here in a second. All right, let's pull the bishop back out of sight of that knight, actually. I'd rather not trade it if I don't have to. And then probably castle and might push that pawn in a moment. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and castle. yeah, it makes sense to push this pawn because I don't want him to be able to trade this off and then this, win the pawn, I guess. I could also come here and threaten this knight, but I can't do that yet, I think, because then still, well, no, because then I have another defender on the knight, so I think I can do that. But I don't really like the bishop being up in my business here, so I'll probably kick it first anyway. If you know, because then I hang that pawn, so after he moves, actually, no, he can just go straight in for that because it's also a fork. And then if I take, then, he takes something here, so let's simply allow this bishop to protect and bring in the queen as the second defender and threaten that knight. I can also maybe line up the bishop here and threaten to get in there on f2 with a fork. So yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I have good piece coordination. Right now the bishop is unprotected, so that's something to be aware of. Got to decide which files I want to get my rooks on. I mean, I think the C file definitely looks good because it's half open. There's no pawn there, just that knight. And it further reinforces the knight. My opponent is a Ukrainian who's about the same rating as me. And I did just come down quite a bit. I was up to, my peak was 1085, I think, or something. Okay, do I want to take with the pawn? Or maybe just take with the knight to go ahead and get this knight out of the threat of this bishop over here. Although I don't know if it matters right now. Let me see. Take, 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 take. I don't think it matters too much. I mean, this knight would probably be more useful to come out, so let's do that. Actually, I don't want to give him the ability to just trade off this knight. I want to make him have to move that knight, so let's do the pawn. And then he can't go to these squares. Might have to hop back somewhere or find a way to defend it. Maybe bringing his queen out. Okay, so he just hops back there. Um, and let's activate my knight a bit more. Maybe try to hop into here and trade these knights off. because I don't really like the fact that he now has control of the c5 square, which I would like to get my bishop on and threaten that fork. So let me see if there's something else I should do first. The knight is pinned to this pawn for now. Like, I could take that pawn if he moves. So maybe I could go here. Well, no, that doesn't work because then I take back with the queen. Yeah, I think, okay, first let's just kick this bishop and see what he does. Okay. Now I can drop back to here and threaten that square, which seems fine. Might want to start expanding my pawns in the center. I have good control over the whole center, it looks like. I'm taking up a bit more space than he is. Not sure what exactly he's going for with that one. Oh, never mind. I forgot I was threatening the battery there. Yeah, I was looking at other stuff and forgot that I had that, so that threat. So yeah, he was looking at it and decided to push that pawn forward. And I mean, don't think there's much I can do. It does weaken the light squares for him. Um, so maybe I can try to maneuver my light square bishop into this little corner on h3. I think for now, I don't really like his dark square bishop. It's pretty active. I might just try to bring this knight in and threaten to trade that off. And in fact, there's not many places he can go, I think. Let's just bring that up. And I'm also threatening this fork now. Trade that off. Let his knight come in if we do that. Do we want to let that knight come in? I guess once the knight comes in, I can come here. Potentially with this fork on the pawn and the knight, he might hop back to block it. Or what else could he do? He could come in here. Oh no, yeah, so that would allow for a fork, I think, with the rook and the queen, so I think that doesn't work. Let's let's just jump in here. Well, no, because he has two attackers, so maybe we take first and then figure it out from there. Might just, for now, I might actually just let him take. And if he does move this knight, I'll just put the rook here to threaten taking that pawn. I think I'm okay with him taking. And then I just take back. Or with the knight, which could be better since it reopens my bishop. Okay, so he wants to defend that pawn. And what do I want to do here? Maybe it's time to expand with my pawns. Or maybe just release this tension. But it just makes his knight more active than I would like it to be, so I think I'm okay with just keeping the tension as long as I can make sure he can't remove my queen as the defender here, which, and if he hops here, I can still protect. Maybe let's just push this pawn one just to prevent the knight from coming in at all. Or, oh, never mind, it's already covered by that square. I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, yeah, let's just set this rook up on the e file and maybe just get ready to start expanding. And there could still be some kind of tactic coming up with this battery, but I think I would need one of these pawns to be gone. And then maybe that could allow for a sacrifice and then a check. So I push this pawn. This one loses one defender, but that's okay. It has another. The knight loses a defender, but that's okay. You can get that pawn to here, control some more squares, reopen this battery. I mean, it seems, I don't see anything specific that it achieves, but it seems like it could just be a good way to proceed from here. So here I probably could, I just realized I could probably just sack the rook since it's the defender of this bishop and just take two pieces for the rook. He has a lot of control over this square. 3 pieces controlling it, so there's not much I can not drawing any accurate arrows here. There we go. Oh, nope, yep, can't draw arrows. So, yeah, I could get control of it myself. I mean, I have my knight looking at it. But yeah, I think I'm definitely considering just doing 2 pieces here for the rook. It seems reasonable. Actually, does that work? Because if he takes here first, then I take back. Take, take, and I have to take it's on the queen here. Take, 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 take. And then, yeah, I think in that case I didn't get 2 pieces for the rook, so I don't think that does work. Let's just expand up here a bit, or, yeah, let's just expand. Both of us are playing fairly slow. We're using a good amount of time, but it is a 15-minute game, so. Now this does also prevent his knight that he just maneuvered from coming to either of those 2 squares. Maybe I'll bring the rook up and try to double them here to create another threat on that pawn if he ever moves the knight. I think my piece coordination and my overall position is better than his right now. So if I allow for the position to open up and just kind of progress towards the end game, it should be in my favor if I don't make any mistakes. Okay, he's moving his queen onto the dark squares here. Where does he want to get it? He doesn't have any checks. Can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. Potentially can get somewhere over here. I could get my queen here and threaten to win this bishop. And then if he goes, oh yeah, he can't go there because I have my rook. Could go here, then I can push that. Maybe. I think I like keeping this pawn here for now because it's controlling this knight, which is also blocking in his rook. So I do want to keep this pawn here at the moment. The only thing is if I double up here, I do give up the possibility of this battery in the future. I think for now, let me just bring the rook forward and stick to that idea of doubling up the rooks. I think that's reasonable. And that takes away, well, I guess it takes away 1 square for his queen. Well, it was already taken away actually, since the rook was still watching it, but just gets it a little bit more active, creates more pressure on the bishop, which at some point I feel like he's probably going to just take my bishop and trade those off, because yeah, I do prefer that, him taking and keeping the knight back here as opposed to bringing it right in to my side of the board and getting it really active. Because it would have a nice outpost. All my pawns are kind of hugged around that square on c5. And then I need to also come up with a little bit of a plan for this bishop because at the moment it's not doing very much. It's blocked in by the knight. I mean, if I can maneuver it over here, it could be pretty useful to cut off some of the king squares. But that would be, right now, that would be 1, 2, 3 moves. So it's not really practical at the moment. Okay, so he drops the bishop back. I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess he just doesn't want to threaten to win it there. Just doesn't want to lose it. I'm surprised he didn't take. I could take, double his pawns. It does open his rook up. Um, this one's defended by the pawn. I think I'm not too worried about that. The only thing is I lose my battery that I had. But I think that's okay because at the moment these pawns aren't going anywhere. And I think my position's better, so yeah, trading should be fine. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Now that pawn is pretty weak. There might be a way to just get an easy attack on that and get up a pawn here. Maybe if I just go here, I mean, he can push it. Probably just have to drop the rook back at some point. Let's double the rooks up first, actually. Just make sure there's nothing over here we're missing. I mean, those squares are covered. Knight can't move in. This square is covered. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I mean, this pawn is a little bit weak, but I can push this one to support it at some point if I need to. It's only defended by that. But let's just double these. My time's getting pretty low, so I don't want to take too long. But I think taking each move slowly, especially after earlier, since I lost 3 games in a row, I think is helpful to just take it nice and slow and do all the blunder checks and stuff that I need to do. All right, so he's challenging that pawn, which I think I'll probably just push. I mean, it weakens my king a bit, but I can tuck him in here behind the bishop because I do like having this square. So if I push, I can keep it. And if I take, he can jump a knight in. I could also just push the pawn. It does allow the knight to come in, but it keeps this pawn chain supported and kind of comes into his area. So I kind of like that. I mean, I have one attacker on this. I'm also potentially threatening something over here. He just has the queen defending. So let's just push it. He might gain an outpost here for the knight. Maybe I'll try to find a way to trade the knights off if that happens. Yeah, let's just push. I don't want to take too much time here. And I like the look of just these connected pawns taking up a lot of room. Maybe if I move the knight somewhere, I can also connect this one. But yeah, I do want to keep my king safe in the corner, so we'll have to see about that. And his knight is technically pinned, I think, because this one, because if it moves, I have 2 attackers on his rook there. Can't hop into these squares. He can't hop into here. Let's. I mean, I could allow for this trade and just focus on a different line of attack. Like maybe threatening this pawn. I think that seems fine. Let's just do that. Because this bishop at the moment is really inactive, and his knights are becoming more active, and this one is pretty active here. So just let that happen. I could just go here. I could push again. I could take. It seems he pushes that. Yeah, I mean, I think that seems okay. He just has the one attacker here. Let's just push, or do I drop back? I think push, because then I put pressure on this one as well. Yeah, so I can win that pawn. And my time's getting very low, so let's just go ahead and take that. Okay, the knight gets into that little outpost that I did not like. And we can probably just trade rooks. I mean, it will allow his rook to get in here. You know, I don't need to rush to the trade because it is defended. I can go ahead and... No, I can't take that pawn because his queen's looking. Let's drop this bishop back and then prepare to kick this knight. So go here, here. No. Yeah, just drop that back. Make sure you can't do anything like that. Okay, he trades the rooks. I get the file here. He has a lot more time than me. I have less than a minute. Oh. Okay, well, I didn't do all my blunder checks apparently. Yeah, no, I totally missed. Yep, just missed that the knight was threatening the rook. Yeah, I'm still blundering a lot. Gotta stop doing that. Um, let's just go ahead and kick this guy. Yeah, all I had to do was just move that. Um, um, go like here, perhaps, and block that check there. Maybe I can get rid of this knight. I mean, he can jump. Yeah, no, I can. I might be able to trap him because this check would have allowed him to escape, but now I am covering that square. Only have 14 seconds on the clock, and he has 5 minutes. So, and down 4 points. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but let's see. Maybe we can win the night. If I go here, I mean, he can just, yeah, he could just do that. So I don't know if I can win it. Let's just do that. I'm covering this square right now. I'm not covering this square, so you might go there. Yeah, he does that. Let's hop in here. We're threatening this fork. Don't have much time on the clock. Yeah. Let's just keep moving in here with this check. Now we have a nice outpost. And I am potentially threatening mate. I mean, he can go over here though. I mean, if he were in the corner, it would be mate. And then there could actually be. I guess there's not. Seems like there could end up being some forks with the positioning of the king, the rook, and the queen, but maybe not because I mean this square's. There's nothing there right now, but maybe there could be. Also, once I take this pawn, if I'm able to, then I'm threatening to also win this pawn as well. Okay, so he just sacks that. Interesting. He was pretty threatened by it. Still guarding this square. He comes down to here. I'm not sure exactly how I want to play that. Probably just trade this off and try to infiltrate. Okay, let's go here and threaten this guy. Oh, never mind. I just almost made another massive blunder. Let's go here then. That does allow for the check. I mean, I just had to play something. Which actually this would be mate, so I do have a legitimate threat there. I didn't even see that. I was just trying to get to a good square. But I mean, so he has check. Go up. Okay, so he covers mate. Let's get. Let's just take this. Just get that up out of here. Maybe come up. Nope. Once again, the knight's looking there. Maybe come up to here. I don't know. I'm actually up 1 point now. Oh no, never mind, because he hasn't taken that back. I was surprised for a sec. I didn't realize. Yeah, I should still be down a couple points. Coming here, I mean, I can threaten that pawn. Get push it. Should try to threaten this one. Yeah, this knight is pretty annoying though, because I can never get to like these squares. Yeah. Yes. I want to keep this mate threat. Yeah, let's just go here for now. Because I still have the mate threat. His queen needs to stay over here. He could try to offer a queen trade. And maybe I can try to activate my king or something. Maybe try to get more pawns involved. But yeah, there's several weak pawns. I just need to be able to take advantage of them. Okay. Yeah, I think... Wait, what if I just go here? Did he just blunder? I mean, he offered the queen trade, but these squares are covered. This could be a comeback, unless I'm missing something here. I think he blundered, right? I think that was the worst way to offer the queen trade, just because he left this square open. So getting this pawn all the way across the board ended up being super valuable. This would be a crazy comeback since I've had 10 seconds on the clock for the past like 10, 15 moves. I mean, I don't see any other way to block that. You can't move here. You can only block it like that. So yeah, it should just be a game over. I think the comeback actually worked. With 10 seconds on the clock for every move. Is he just gonna let his time run out? Yep. Okay. All right. Well, that was cool. Let's check out the game review. 78. Oh yeah. Let me switch here to where the game review should be visible. Oh, no, it's not. One sec. Okay. I think I'll cut that last part out. Now we're on to the game review. Got the game review screen up. So we can take a look. I had 75, or no, he had 75% accuracy. I had 78. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like my game Elo rating was 1500. His was 1350. So yeah, 1500 is okay for a winning game. It's not great. I have a blunder here. It looks like. Um, just move that. Yeah, so I have one blunder. He has two blunders. I have a miss. I have a mistake. So it was pretty close. I mean, I barely made that comeback. So let's go through the moves real quick. But I'm happy to end the losing streak. It was pretty brutal earlier. So everything's pretty standard here. Oh, it wanted me to just go straight for this sacrifice. Let's see how that goes. This. What is this? Oh, it's because it can fork the knight there. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I knew this knight seemed kind of weak for a while because it was never defended. It was kind of placed a little bit weird. And I just didn't quite see how to take advantage of it at that point. But that makes total sense. So bringing that knight in there, we go here, take, boom, boom. All right, cool. Move my knight. Yeah, it still wants the sacrifice. It wants him to trade for the bishop. It liked that I moved the bishop back. Castle's good. He blundered here, but I missed. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, it's just that same knight that he just left when I castled because the pin's no longer active. I think in my mind the pin was still active, but yeah, he just straight up left that hanging. And I mean, I missed that, so I count that as a blunder for myself. So I basically had two blunders this game. Two things that I really should have seen that I didn't. That's one of them. Yeah, trade all that off. It wanted me to go ahead and set the battery up right away instead of trying to kick that bishop. I just didn't feel comfortable with this bishop being so close up in here. Let's see if there's any like major tactics I missed. It wanted him to trade. Yeah, it seemed like he should have traded for a while there because he ended up with double pawns on the A file, all because he didn't want to trade this bishop off. He was being stubborn with that one. That was an inaccuracy. I still have the advantage here. It looks like I had it for a long time, looking at the graph up until that blunder that I made. And then I just got it back, like he had it all the way through the end here, it looks like, and then I just instantly got it back at the end when he didn't defend that mate properly. All right, there's the double pawns, we double the rooks. It doesn't really like that. It wanted me to get the queen here. Which I'm not sure exactly why. I don't think it's a tactic or anything, it's just positional. Okay. It wants me to take this. Doesn't that lose my pawn if I take that? Take, 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 take. Oh yeah, no, because it opens that up. But he could take with the queen. So I did just lose a pawn there, I think, right? Or no? No, because I take... Okay, never mind. I didn't lose my pawn. It was just a trade. Like that. That was a best move there. That was an inaccuracy. Best move for him to get that knight in there. Yeah, this knight became pretty annoying. As well as this one later on. As soon as his knights became more active, it really became a pain. For a long time, I was keeping them pretty inactive. And then here was the blunder, yeah, just because I somehow didn't see that and decided to move the bishop because I was focused on pushing this pawn and kicking this knight somewhere, getting it out of my business. Yeah. Gets that, and now he's completely winning here, of course. And I just started playing quick here, as quick as I could, because each move is, 17 seconds, 13 seconds, 21 seconds, and that's with getting the 10 seconds back, so. I just started playing quickly, and he still had 4 minutes. Okay, that was a great move for him to sacrifice the rook for that knight, because that knight was going to cause him a lot of problems. He wanted me to go ahead and trade here, which I did right after. He blocks the mate. So he could have gone down for the check, it looks like. But that does seem really risky from his perspective, because if I can get safe and then he can't block this mate, then it's game over. So it makes sense that he went back to cover it. That's best. Okay, cool. And then there he blundered mate in 2. And I found it with 12 seconds on the clock, so I'm happy with that. I mean, it was pretty straightforward, but with time pressure, I could have easily just traded this and not realized. Okay, cool. So that's it for, I think I'll just call it for that game. Part 2 of day 3 on my progression from 1000 to 1500 Elo, playing chess every single day. Thank you for watching.